Some people spend their entire lives talking about the person they're going to become. Not because they're incapable, but because dreaming became safer than trying. And the terrifying thing, most of them will never realize it. They'll reach the end of their lives with a mind full of plans, a heart full of potential, and a life that stayed exactly the same. Not because fate was cruel, but because something inside them made peace with staying still. This isn't about laziness. This isn't about fear in the simple sense. This is something far darker, far more elegant. This is about the mind protecting itself at any cost. They're not addicted to success. They're addicted to the feeling of almost having it.
Here's what nobody tells you about dreaming big. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagining success and actually achieving it. Neuroscience has confirmed it. When you vividly picture the life you want, the business, the body, the recognition, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical released when you actually win. So the mind finds a shortcut. Why endure the pain of the process when the reward can be extracted for free? Every time they imagine the future version of themselves, the brain gets its hit. Every conversation about their plans feels like progress. Every vision board becomes a substitute for the work itself. They are not procrastinating. They are quietly, unknowingly feeding an addiction. And like every addiction, the more you feed it, the less real life satisfies. They don't fear failure. They fear discovering that failure is all they are.
There is a version of yourself that exists only in potential, unrealized, untested, and therefore perfect. As long as you haven't tried, you cannot fail. And as long as you cannot fail, you remain someone with unlimited possibility. This is the identity trap. The self-image of a person who dreams big becomes so central to who they are that action becomes the threat, not inaction. Because the moment they act, the moment they put the thing into the world, the perfect version gets replaced by the real one. And the real one might not be enough. So they protect the dream by never touching it. They hold their potential the way you hold a match you're afraid to strike. The flame is real only while it exists in your mind. Watch them closely. They research everything. They have the notebooks, the systems, the courses half finished in the background. They know more about building a business than most people who actually have one. They can give a lecture on discipline. And yet, nothing moves. Because planning is not action's preparation. It is action's replacement. The mind found a way to simulate productivity without the exposure that real work demands. Planning has no consequences. Planning cannot humiliate you. It cannot reveal your limits or disappoint the people watching. Planning keeps you warm inside the illusion that you are still in control of the outcome. Overthinking works the same way. What looks like a person carefully considering their options is often a person building an endless maze with no exit. Not because they can't find the answer, but because finding it would force them to move. They are waiting for a version of the future that was designed to never arrive. There is always a reason why now is not the time. They need one more year of experience, one more qualification, the economy to stabilize, the children to get older, the feeling to feel more certain. They need to become slightly more ready than they currently are. But readiness is not a destination. It's a story the mind tells when the cost of starting feels greater than the cost of staying. The perfect moment isn't something you wait for. It's something the brave invent out of imperfect circumstances.
And deep down, they know this. That's what makes it so painful to watch. They can see the game they're playing. They are intelligent enough to feel the trap, but not yet desperate enough to leave it. Sometimes the most dangerous thing is getting close, because getting close makes failure feel real in a way that distance never does. So when they begin to sense momentum, When they can almost feel themselves becoming the person they imagined, something in them pulls back. A self-destructive choice, a sudden crisis of confidence, a reason to stop that appears from nowhere. This is not weakness. It is the mind doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect the current version of you. Change feels like dying to a nervous system calibrated for survival. Growth and threat activate the same alarm. So the self-sabotages are not failures of character. They are desperate acts of a system trying to keep you safe from the unknown version of yourself waiting on the other side of action.
Here is the truth that nobody says out loud. The person you keep describing, the one who wakes up differently, who built the thing, who became someone, that person is not waiting for you in the future. They are not an upgrade you receive after enough time passes. They are forged only through the unbearable discomfort of doing the work, when every part of you would rather imagine it instead. The dream was never the problem. Dreaming is human. Dreaming is how we orient toward a life worth living. The problem is when the dream becomes a place to live instead of a direction to move in. When the idea of the life replaces the living of it. You are not running out of time. You are running out of versions of yourself willing to stay comfortable. The life does not begin when you are ready. It began the moment you were born, and it is happening right now, with or without your permission. The only difference between the person you are and the person you keep describing is one decision, made in a moment when staying still was still an option.